I messed the countdown up.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know I pressed the button and then it counted down. I thought I would
Where are we at?
all right, it started now.
Okay, so we're gonna start now. All right, team, are we good to go back there? Because I'm keeping this part of it right now. I'll tell you that. What episode is this, D? How far have we gotten now?
Episode 5.
5. We have made it to the big time. What do you look like today, D? What are you wearing? What do you got on over there? Anything good?
Got the brown, black pants. Just
Got some pandas on. Is that pandas on down there over there? Nobody can see it. That's a good look. That's good. I am absolutely like having you here today is when I started all this, I had 2 people that I wanted to have on, believe it or not. And honestly, I didn't even know your name at the time. I wanted Doug Alves. Mm-hmm. I coach with him, if you're not aware. And I wanted
home of the Bridgewater Rainham Trojans.
He already throws in a sound effect. That's good. That is true. He is home of the Bridgewater Rainham Trojans, Doug Alves, but not really. He's a Taunton High guy as well, too. But I wanted Taunton girls softball. Mm-hmm. So let's just first get to the introduction. Michelle Raposo.
Yep.
Oh, whew. I was a little nervous about that one. I passed that test. The current head coach of the 5-time in a row now, 10-time Division I state champion girls softball head coach of the Taunton Tigers. Again, Michelle Raposo. Yes. Oh, he did good. Honestly, I'm thrilled to have you here. I think that coaches in general don't get enough. We put so much time into it. Assistants, never mind assistants. I know how much time Doug Alves puts into it. I know how much time everybody puts into it. I appreciate you coming in here. I hope you understand this is just truly exciting. You guys are the dominant force in this area. Everybody knows what you're doing. Everybody wants to understand. I want to understand more. I want to be a better coach leaving here today. How can we be better? And you're the captain of the ship right now, but it's a Noah's Ark. It's a big boat.
It is a big one.
It's a big boat that you guys have started in 1997 and worked your way all the way today. And Darius, we can go back and tell, Father Doug, in 1997, the boys team also won a basketball championship at Taunton High, led by Doug Alves. How many have they won since?
Goose egg.
Yeah.
There's a big 0. And then the girls softball team just took off and said, we'll win 9 more. So thank you for coming on today. And I like to start the show by not really, Darius, you can go to the next slide. Not my really talking so much about your teams. I just want to know a little bit more about yourself. So, you're going to see some slides and hopefully some smiles come up as to, where did this come from? But, trying to do a little research, trying to get ready. I just felt almost like this was like calculus for me. Well, I like calculus. This was more like an English test for me because it was so much to talk about. But in starting with yourself, how did you get started with softball?
It was weird because back when I was a little kid, there was I wasn't involved in a lot of sports. I'm our firstborn generation here. My father was born in Brazil, so they moved here to America.
Maybe Portuguese?
Yeah, falo um pouquinho. So they moved here, and when my dad was young, and I didn't really get involved. I was very shy as a kid. So it was one day at school they had this pamphlet for softball, and I said, "Hey, Dad, I want to try out." And I remember the first year I played, I was god awful.
How old do you think you were?
I was 8.
8?
And I was atrocious. When I say atrocious, they didn't even want me on the field, so bad. And I said, "Dad, next year that's not going to be me. I'm going to work really hard." And I know in that off season, I practiced with my dad and I would throw, and
so Dad
I did get better.
Dad seemed to be on board
oh,
right
yeah.
away?
Yeah, my dad, whatever we wanted to do, he, as long as we invested in the time and stayed
Who's
in
we?
there. My sister and I. So,
okay, cool. And what's your sister's name?
Julie.
Nice.
Raposo, yeah.
Nice. So how old are you guys together? Like, how many years apart are you?
We're a year and a half and a day apart. So
a year and a half.
Yeah.
Irish Brazilian twins.
Yeah.
You older or younger?
I'm younger. She's older than me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did she play sports?
She did. She was actually on the 2002 team with me.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So she was a senior. I was a sophomore, and
And I'll tell you, of the research to do, those are the toughest teams to find stuff on.
Yeah.
They're tough,
There's not much, news publicity on it. And I know I had papers on it when I was a kid, but I don't know where they are.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you started at 8
Yep.
and in Taunton?
Yep. I played for the Phillies.
So she's 9. Are you on the same team?
She didn't play the first year or so. And then
so you were the younger
Yep.
sister who said, I'm going to play softball.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep. And then she decided to play, and she played for the Cubs. And so naturally, when you move up, you start to play together. So I started playing travel ball for the 10U for Tornadoes, the Taunton Tornadoes.
So the Tornadoes are that old.
They used to be called the Taunton Trolls. So
The
fun
Taunton
fact,
Trolls. Wow.
my year, my team were sick of being called the Trolls, so we came up with the name Taunton Tornadoes.
Nice.
So like we all voted on it, and we were the ones that officially changed their name.
Whoever came up with, wait, depends on the year. Were trolls popular
It
back
was
then or
wicked
something?
popular, and like the T-shirts had the
Right.
actual troll on it.
Is it better than the Smurfs or something? If you were born a generation before that, you know what I mean? So, oh my God. Very cool. So what position did you play?
Well, when I first started, I played outfield.
Played left field.
Yeah. No, I think back then it was right field.
Yeah, right
Get
field.
everyone away from you. And I always wanted to be involved in the game. So I wanted to pitch. I wanted to catch. I wanted to just be a part of the action because in 10U, there's not much action in the outfield. So I started to learn how to pitch. And I played with Suzanne Cavill-Hogg. She's a big Taunton name. And she pitched. I would pitch. She would catch, I would catch her, and because nobody wanted to catch or pitch one of us. Yeah.
So how old were you when you started pitching? Not the first year.
No, it was the second year.
Oh,
yep.
cool.
So then,
did you get home and throw with dad or your sister or
my
both
dad,
of them?
every day I would, not every day.
What's your dad's name?
Joe Raposo.
Good man, Joe.
Yeah.
Good for you. I love to hear that. That's good. You're getting a little older. Is it getting serious at that time? Or are you still just playing rec ball? What's it like back then?
I played rec ball, and then I played the travel team. So it wasn't as serious as it is now with the AAU teams year round. You played you played the spring league, and once spring league was done, you played travel. So you played travel all in June, July, and August. Now travel starts as early as
these AAU
sometimes.
programs. We're going to talk about that probably a little bit down the line here too. But so you get to high school, Taunton High.
Yeah.
So you're an alum all the way through this, right? I actually know this part of that, but you decide that softball. I mean, come on, in high school you got to really kind of commit. You know what I mean? So you're already committed coming in, like you knew as an 8th grade. At that time, could you play as an 8th grader?
No. So like you came to Taunton High at 9th grade. So I played, my high school years, but I knew it was something that I wanted to play. It was like my outlet to, not shine in a way, but I was always a super shy kid. So it was my way to make friends and be more involved.
Right. Oh, and I forgot. I'm supposed to tell people that my name is Derek Perry, by the way, because people know the Hey Coach episode. They don't always know my name. And yes, I'm a Taunton High 1988 alumni. So when I'm asking you questions, did they have that back then? I should be saying it's not back. It's ahead of me. You were much younger than me playing, but back when I was playing, there was no such thing as AAU.
Yeah.
Maybe Bay State games was the only thing that was there. So you get to high school and you're like, I love softball. Your sister's playing at that time. Is she playing for the high school team?
Yeah, she did play for the high school team.
You guys, and we're going to talk about this, but we're going to spread it out a little bit as well too. So you're on the 2002, 2003 championship teams. Is that correct?
Yep.
Wow. So did the 97 team affect you at all? Because I know that's the first one. Did you see any of that? Or were you just too young?
I only knew that because my cousin played. Yeah, my cousin played around that time era.
What's her name?
Melissa Leach.
Oh, nice.
My uncle ended up helping when they first built the field. He was one of the people that helped build the field as well.
Wow,
and,
nice.
So I grew up around it, and I knew she played, and I always wanted to, play in, eventually. Like as a little kid, you look out at the field and you see all these Taunton High girls play, and you're like, oh my God, I want to be her someday, and I want to be out there competing like they compete. And it just seems so, for lack of better words, cool to be out there and play.
It certainly is, though. I mean, and softball's always been pretty good.
Yeah,
it's gotten really good, but it's always been pretty good. Darius, why don't we drop down to that next slide? Let's see what I've got up here for. It's catching us along. Yeah. So this is where when I said you have a big boat, it's been steered by some pretty big names and pretty big, the first guy up there, Jack Tripp, Field's named after him.
Yep.
I had to dig into my 1988 yearbook to get that picture, by the way, so you know. So he was around, obviously, then. And the fun little fact is my wife did play for a couple of years for Coach Tripp.
Cool.
Up until a junior year. She started varsity sophomore and junior year for him. And then Coach, I hope I get all these right, Lowry? Lori.
Yep.
Just like my sister Lori. Okay, Lori. Okay, cool. So he's the man who kind of started everything going. What do you know about Coach?
D-Lou is what we call him.
Yes, that's what I've heard from a couple different people, but I don't know him that way. So you guys get that.
D-Lou it's funny because he's always been like a father figure, and it's weird to say, but like, and now I'm in this role as like the head coach, and I know, just trying to make him proud, trying to live on that legacy of what he's created along with Coach Tripp.
He's proud.
And Coach Consalvi. So it's something that I always look back and I refer to my assistant coach because, my assistant coach, Marissa Allman, also played for him and coached alongside him for a number of years. So whenever I talk to her, I'm like, I just feel like a little kid sometimes. Like, am I making him proud? Am I doing the right things? And, sometimes I just look for him for guidance, especially like my first year. I reached out to him a lot about some of the, trials and tribulations that I was having and like the kids and like
that's
trying
great.
to get them.
He was there for you.
He's a really big mentor for me for the first year. Yeah.
It's awesome. And then we have over here, Carrie, do you know her as well too?
Coop is what the kids call her.
Coop?
Yep.
Nice.
I speak with Coop all the time.
She's Bridgewater State, right?
Yep, she was at Bridgewater State.
Yeah.
She's helping with the Dynamites now, and her daughter Mia plays, and my daughter Mia plays. So it's kind of funny how we both have Mias.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So the whole crew kind of fits together, right? And actually, sorry to Coach Tripp. I heard his wife did pass away this week, and thoughts out. I know Danny very well. And the family. So, thoughts to them as well too. So that's just look up top though. Look up top of these banners. You know how many times I hit it, copy and paste. I'm going, oh my God. It's so awesome to look at it like that though. And I really like how the high schools put the banners up on the outside the gym. They paint them on there. That is so cool.
The new ones are just getting painted.
But the thought when I was looking up there was all of the teams combined at Taunton High School don't have as many championships as a girls softball team. It's not even close. I think it was like 5 I got to, and then, a couple for football, one for basketball. There's really not much up there. And I'm like, yeah, it's nice to be part of that ship that you got going on. Drop down one more, D. So the great thing about like today's world is you can put into AI anything you want. So all I put into AI is why is Taunton High School. So I didn't do any of this. But can you imagine that this is what comes back when you put into AI, why is Taunton High softball dominant? I mean, just look what's up here. Strong and consistent coaching. And that's part of where you are in this, right? So how do you, I guess when you're looking at coaching, how do you think, and then you can run through the rest of them, right? Talented. Of course, you're going to have talented players. We all know that. You're a better coach when you have more talented players every time. Winning culture, team chemistry, resilience and mental toughness, academic excellence. That's awesome. But that's from AI. That's not, AI says you guys are academic excellence. I think that's fantastic. And then emphasis on fundamentals and preparedness. Now, let me tell you, everyone says that because I Googled a couple more to see how different they would be. And almost everyone gets that last one. It's like the freebie of them all. But not everyone gets academic, and not everyone gets the strong and consistent coaching. Honestly, those are very rare. What do you attribute that to your program?
I think just for me, it was D-Lou. Watching his coaching style through the years and like coaching alongside him. Carrie came in and did a really good job. I was out on maternity leave when she came in and coached. And, when she got the opportunity to go coach at Bridgewater and the head coach position was open, I wasn't sure I was 100% ready for it. I knew it was like a dream of mine, but I said, well, now's the time. I'm going to jump feet first and see how I fall. And, I relied on D-Lou a lot to mentor me. And I had the luxury of talking to Coach Coop as well because, she was there the previous 2 years. And
that's absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
That it's a community effort. You know what I mean? And had Coach Fox in here, took a couple pictures before. He just glows, like, he doesn't want your position. He wants you to do really well. And honestly, I feel like that's the same way on our staff at BR for the basketball team. We all just want to do well. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like roles are defined, but everybody has a voice.
Yeah.
How do you handle your assistant coaches?
I I love my assistant coaches. You know, we call it the girl power. So it's, you know, a lot of times Coach Fox is there for us, and you know, he does the
voice.
The voice. He is the voice of the
He's the
Tigers,
voice
you
of the
know.
Tigers.
And you know, for the day to day, we have Coach Ress and we have Coach Mag, and they're with me every day.
Slow down.
Sorry.
Who are those coaches again?
Coach Marissa Allman.
Okay.
She's been a player, then has pretty much been a coach
What
since.
years did she play?
She played. She won in the 07 team.
Nice. This is the time. That sign says, "Hey, coach." You know, your players are great, and they're going to get their flowers, if you know what I mean. But
I say I couldn't survive without Riss. She's my right-hand woman. I spend more time with her than my own family most of the time throughout the entire season.
Nice.
And
Yeah,
her and I collaborate very well. We go hand in hand very well. What I forget during a game, she remembers, or vice versa. And, you know, we're always there to, you know, be tough on the girls, but, you know, also have a soft side. You know that, you know, they're impressionable young ladies that we have to, you know, boost up and build them up and not just totally knock them down all the time. So she's a very good counterpart. We also have Meg Kirby. She's our JV coach. She's a Taunton High grad. She played softball there. She ran track. She was actually my fiance's track coach. Track athlete when he was there coaching. And she used to babysit my daughter a lot of the time. So she's known my Mia since she was a year old. So
that's great.
just
How old is Mia now?
my Mia, she's 16.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, God, I do know that. Anyways, you're going to have to help. There's a lot of information you made me get thrown at over this time putting this together. Let's go back to the coaching style a little bit. I heard you say, you know, you got to build them up.
Mm-hmm.
You got to kind of the carrot and the stick, right?
Yeah.
How do you win a horse over? Some carrot, some whip, the whip and the carrot. How do you balance that as a coach?
I have to say, like, I'm very laid back when it comes to that. You know, like when kids make mistakes, I don't typically point them out. They already know they made the mistake. Let's see what we can do to fix that mistake, or, you know, become better from that or learn from it. You know, a lot of times in the middle of the game, we just figure out like what we can fix quickly in that little moment. But usually we don't address those mistakes. You know, they already know. During practice, if I have to address them, we address them at the beginning of practice. Like, hey, we made this mistake. Let's fix this. Let's do this. We never name call. I don't point kids out. I mean, a lot of times they already know who it is, but I don't specifically say it. Recently, I've name called one of them, and only because I think it was a good positive thing afterwards. So a kid made a running error, and I said, hey, you remember that? Like, we all know you did it. Like, it's okay. Like, what could have defined you in that moment is you could have let that one little moment bring you down the entire game, but it didn't. Because I said, hey, brush it off, throw it in the dirt. I need you in the outfield. I need you to come up to bat and do something great. Let's see what you can do. And she ended up getting a triple for us, you know, later in the game. So, you know, that little moment could have, you know, defined her the entire game. And
Well, it's accountability, right? Yeah. It's accountability to your team, to your coach.
Yeah.
You know, that's why a lot of people play sports. Yeah. They want the accountability. That's why it's not as much fun playing just pickup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't seem as valuable, right? If you're, you know, you're a third base coach as well too, right? You obviously have signs and all that fun stuff. How do you go about, like, you know, I go through this in every episode, and I'm sorry to break it down again, but it might be new to you. Sports is athleticism and mental. Mm-hmm. And I look at, like, I'll take track as 100% athleticism. Mm-hmm. And then on the other side of that, I almost get to, like, darts is like, it's a real mental game. You know, you got to hit the bullseye. but there's not a lot of athleticism. You don't have to be a super jock, right? I have baseball, like, more on the mental side. Mm-hmm. You do have to be an athlete. Trust me, you got to be able to, you know, hand-eye coordination, all that stuff too. But there's so much first and third, you know, runners on first and third, 1 out versus 2 out versus, you know, we're winning or losing. How do you go about that with your kids in coaching them? You know more as an adult, obviously, right? But how do you teach them that part of the game?
We work a lot of that in practice. You know, I have those one-on-one conversations with a lot of kids, like side by side in the moment, like, hey, you know, we can do this in this moment, you know, and we work through those scenarios. Like, are we winning? Are we losing? Do we need this run to count? Do we want to keep that runner on third? Do we want them to score and just not care, and we care about the outs? And, you know, we talk about those things. Do we care about the out, or do we care about holding that runner and letting them score? You know, and they go through those scenarios in their head. So a lot of times in the game, when we're ready, we're like, you know, we want that out. don't let that run score. We want that out. And they know already, like, all right, well, if the ball comes to me, this is what I'm going to do. And hopefully, their IQ, throughout practice and being in those game time situations. So it's
verbally talking to them through scenarios all the time. And
we work a lot of them. We do game situations at practice. So we'll have runners on. We'll call out 1 out, 2 outs, or whatever else, and they'll have to play the situation.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
See, now I haven't had a practice in baseball since I was 16 years old. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it now, right? D, drop down to the next one. Let's see where we're getting at too, because I know we got quite a few here too. Yeah, so here starts the beginning to the end, and quite frankly, I was just so impressed putting this together. I couldn't stop. I literally spent a lot of, just because it was fun.
Yeah.
I started putting together stuff, and I go, yeah, no, each team needs to have their little bit of understanding. Let's talk about this team. So this is the 5-time team, right?
Yeah.
And would you say you're led by Kate Larson there on the toe on the rubber, as they say?
We are led by Kate and Brooke Aldridge, who's our shortstop.
Yep.
They're both senior captains. They've been on the team 5 years, so they've won all 5 rings, which is really cool and unbelievable.
That boy D, I like it. So those are 8th grade to now.
Yeah, unbelievable.
They were on the team in 8th grade.
Yeah.
Were they contributing at that point in time?
So for me, like, you're contributing if you're on the team. Doesn't matter if you're 1 through 9.
I say that I understand what you're saying, but I mean, Bella Bork was an 8th grader and led your team in triples, and I read some stats. Okay,
they were not playing.
Okay, so that's okay to say that.
Yep.
I mean, they
weren't actively playing at the moment.
We're not going to hurt their feelings. They just won the 5 championships. Kate's going to Georgetown, right?
Oh yeah,
that's amazing.
She is unbelievable.
And the other one's going to Brooke is going to her. Is her sister there or something? Yeah, I got that coming up too. So yeah. So again, looking at this, what can you add to this from this year? They're
just a great group of girls. We had a lot of trial and tribulations this year, and it had nothing to do with the girls. It was, not having a field, running around, and just not having our logistics together. And the girls are very set on routine and expectations. They know what to expect every day, and our routines were thrown off for the first 6 weeks of the season without a field.
Wow.
So they did a really great job of holding it together, and I attribute that a lot to Kate.
Where were you playing?
We were practicing, whether it was at the JV field or we're at Friedman. We would have to drive there, or we're inside, or
the field is gorgeous though. Worth the wait. It's going to be with you guys for a long time.
It's unbelievable. It's kind of surreal to walk onto it, but it's kind of sad.
Well deserved.
It is.
No,
it is.
It's not sad.
I look back sometimes. I'm very traditional type of person.
So am I.
I believe in traditions, and I believe in all of the old stuff, and for me it's like sad
but you're a little girl, and you're sitting on the sideline,
Yeah.
and you're watching these girls play on that field.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
I loved it. I watched, I went down and watched your BR game. What an event.
Mm-hmm.
What a great event just at that field. So, and these girls in that game were resilient. It was fun to watch that game for me. I was like, people were on edge.
Mm-hmm.
Except I didn't feel like your team was on edge. It was a close game.
Oh, it was a close game.
Yeah. How do you contribute that as a coach, and how does it then do you get that onto your players in those moments?
I mean, I'm usually pretty calm when it comes to those situations. I appear calm. All my non-calmness is like inside of me. Typically, Riss and I will chat, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. Oh my goodness, what's going to happen? But, I don't ever let the kids know that I'm nervous or that I'm, anxious at any point, because I know that they are resilient and they are going to come through. It's just when. Usually they like to give me a heart attack and wait till the 6th inning.
Wait, see, so how do you know that they're going to come through? Because I believe manifestation is huge in sports, right? But how are you instilling that in them?
So what I mean by is they're going to come through, whether or not the scoreboard is on our side at the end of the game. That's what I say to them. Like, I need you to step up. I need you to show them, what type of team you are and what type of player you are. And you guys stick together and, like, work hard for each other. Kate's working hard on the mound. Let's get her some runs. Let's get her some reassurance. And they're like, all right, we got you, Kate. And they're just resilient in that aspect. Like, again, at the end of the day, if the score's not on our side, as long as they've just put all of their effort out on that field, I'm a happy coach.
When I look at your teams, I look at coaches and I look at pitchers.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Those two factors in baseball are huge.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to hit the ball, you have to score runs, but let's face it, a hockey goalie is a hockey goalie.
Mm-hmm.
you can't score, you don't win.
Right.
If you can't score, you don't win.
Yeah.
There's some stats up here throughout these things that just blew my mind. So Kate, what was her strength on the mound? Like, where do you think she got her toughness from?
It's funny because, I've seen her pitch since 10U, and she's just always been like that. She's just calm, cool, collected on the mound.
She seems so
like
calm.
Stone face in a sense, but like, you can see when she has a little zip in her step and she's like, all right, she's feeling a little more on today. But she just goes out there and does her best, and her best is, really good a lot of the times.
So who else do we got up here? So of course I'm going to put up here my, I think she was impressive. Bella Bork is completely impressive, in terms, and she's 3 for 3 in rings now too. So it's like, oh my God, these poor girls don't understand that.
They don't know what failure looks like.
And keep it that way.
Yeah.
Got to keep it that way. Who else do we got up here? What am I looking at? So obviously the championship game up top here. Where were you? 10-4?
Yep. So it's funny because people are like, 10-4, you won that game so easily. Like, that game was not an easy win. A lot of our games seem like they were easy wins until you kind of replay them, and I'm like, they weren't easy games. And people are like, oh, you had this so easy. I'm like, no, were you at the same game I was?
Yeah, there's always a breakout point, right?
And the sixth inning breakout point, and it happened again in that game.
It was the sixth inning? I didn't get to that game, so you can let me know. I don't.
So they scored 2 runs in the first inning. So we're down 2-0. We ended up going 2-2. They came back up. Ended up being 4-2, I think it was. And then we just ended up scoring. I remember exactly what numbers they were, but once we started hitting, we do a really good job of rallying. I don't know what it is. They like the 6th inning and 2 outs. I don't know what inning it is usually, but they do really well when their back's against the wall and they need to show and show up, and they're resilient.
I think that's amazing. D, drop down one more. So this is still you. A lot of the names are the same, but they're never completely the same, right? Because, I'm watching ESPN and here's another picture from BR. Are you kidding me? Like in the national championship game, God, no, it didn't go their way, but let's face it, it's amazing. The talent that you guys have produced, right? Give me a little bit of a story about, again, I'm not making this stuff up over here. This is AI, basically. This is what they think of your team. So I don't like pretending like I'm making favorite from it, right? And in addition to, that's all coming off of just research stuff. So
these girls are unbelievable. Sam Lincoln, she took some time off from Taunton High to get recruited. When she did, she came back to try out her junior year. And, for me as a coach, to see her grow from her junior year to her senior year and then, going on to play in college is like unbelievable. She just became a better, student. She was a better athlete, a better teammate. It's just remarkable to see like how much composure she has on the mound now. She worked really hard for all of those things. And, I think a lot of it, she felt like maybe people weren't in her corner, and like, Sam Lincoln is this greatest pitcher, and she had to live up to this expectation, and we already knew she was there, and she just had to believe in herself that she lived in that expectation. So for her to go into that, she ended up, 5th time in state school history. Is that what it was? The perfect game?
Yes.
Unbelievable. She ended up pitching in the championship game.
Yes.
She held them down. I wish she pitched her a little sooner, but everybody
when you got
wishes
$1 million
that, right?
arm, you're going to keep it out there. Sorry, that girl.
I agree.
She's impressive,
I
but she
agree.
was going to have to hang up there the whole time.
But it's still really cool to like sit back and say, wow, I helped coach her. She was a teammate, for a lot of these girls that they played with. She was a preschool teacher for my younger daughter. So we would watch her on TV, and she's like, that's Miss Sam. I'm like, yep, we're watching Miss Sam on TV. Like, little do you know, this doesn't happen. So it's unbelievable to see this. Anaya Bailey came up huge catching for her. It's not easy to catch Sam. She throws low 70s, lots of spin.
Especially when she's a freshman. Good Lord.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to win if I just looked at this whole thing and didn't know what we're going into 2025 for, I'd say the only question I have is who's your pitcher?
Yeah.
Because you're going to win it again.
Yeah.
Because on this team, it's a freshman, it's a junior, it's a freshman, it's a sophomore, it's a freshman, besides the cannon. You know what I mean? So if we had another cannon coming, and obviously you did, That's pretty
we have
impressive
a lot of young
too.
talent.
Do you have other pitchers coming up too that
We
you
have
feel confident?
a few pitchers. There's
Yeah.
probably like 5, 6 that are potentially in the running. So
Good.
we'll see
I
who
don't like talking
works
too
out.
much
Me
about the
either.
younger ones either. So don't worry about it. I'm not pushing you down those roads. But you do feel I mean, a freshman is now a junior, a
Yep.
sophomore is now a senior.
Yeah.
You've got a pretty good crew coming back
Yeah.
next year, right?
We're only replacing our pitcher and our shortstop. So yeah.
On the whole 9?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And that's pretty much what we did last year. We replaced the pitcher and the center fielder.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you're not going to crush too many because I see 3 freshmen up here too. So they're only going to be 4 freshmen up here.
That was for
3
the year
freshmen.
prior.
Yeah, from
so-
2024,
Yep.
meaning they're going to be seniors 2 years from now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, drop down one more, D, because we, just the list just keeps on coming.
Yeah.
2023. So this is your first year.
This is.
This is your first year
Yep.
coaching. You've now just watched the program kind of explode already, right? So we're talking about this is championship 8, but 1, 2, 3, 4. There's probably 6 of those championships are recently.
Yeah.
There's only really 4 from the past, if you're going to really look at
Yeah.
numbers,
Yep.
right? So you're picking up from a program that's on the march.
Yep. They won 2 state titles back to back, and a lot of their players were coming.
So Coach
back.
Carey went to BSU, right?
Yeah.
So that's no surprise.
Yeah.
She was kind of. I read that she was kind of a little bit torn.
Yeah,
Like, do
she
I want to
was.
go this
Yep.
year, not go at all? So it doesn't surprise me you guys still have a good relationship. But then the job comes open, you apply for it,
Yeah.
or what
Yep.
happened?
I knew it was open. I applied at the 100th hour, is what I say. I was back and forth on it. It's a big time commitment. I had 2 little ones.
How old?
So they are now. I have a 5-year-old and a 3, going to be 4-year-old.
That's how old they were?
No.
No, how old? Oh, they were that young?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good. Did you have them at the field at all?
Yep.
Yes,
They
I
have
love it.
grown up. So my youngest son, my youngest is my son. He was 10 days old, and I brought him to Connecticut for my daughter's softball tournament.
Wow.
They've grown up on the
it.
field. So
Hold on. I need to make a quick little text here. Fun stuff. So in the 20, you brand new coach, get into the playoffs.
yeah,
Now you're telling me everything the first time is the hardest.
yes,
Right.
So it was hard. It was hard to get the kids to buy in.
Hold on.
Yeah.
The kids are fine. I know they are. How are you dealing with, okay, you won championships before me. I'm taking over this kind of juggernaut thing here. I'm brand new. I'm going to my first playoff game. What's the night before like for you on that one? Can you remember it all?
See, I don't feel like I'm nervous.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, I just feel like if you just put everything into practice and, you give them all the tools that they need and that they have the tools, they just have to use them and, practice failure recovery. If you make a mistake, come back from it.
Practice
Failure recovery.
I like
Yeah.
that. I like
Throw it
that.
in the dirt. Takes, you have 5 seconds to deal with it. And then from then on, we're on to the next point in the game, whether that's the next at bat or the next inning or the next pitch or my next great catch. We're always looking for that next great thing.
Wow. I read a book and I'm reading a book and they've got a good one that I use a lot is BFF. Your new best friend is believe, focus, and freedom.
Yeah.
You got to believe in yourself. You got to
Yep.
focus at the task. You can't just not. And
Right.
then you got to have the freedom. You can't be angst.
Yeah.
You can't be
No.
anything to get it done. So yeah,
You got this is my biggest thing.
basketball is a small hoop if
Yeah.
you're nervous shooting. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Like the baseball is not the round bat, round ball, very hard to do if you're tense and
Yep.
not doing it too. So very cool. So you get to the championship game. Tell me a little bit about that.
I was nervous. I think that was the first time I was really nervous.
What's the
I
bus
think-
ride? What's a bus ride? I mean, tell me a little
So
bit
like
about
everybody
it.
usually sleeps on the bus. They all like we get snacks in the morning, whatever it is. We had a long day, so we knew if we won, we're gonna go watch the boys play. Well, either way, we're gonna go watch the boys play. And we got the first base dugout, and I'm sitting there, and I told you I don't let the girls know I'm nervous. I'm always like, I'm nervous. Oh my god, I'm sweating. I'm talking to Chris, the trainer, and I'm like, I'm so nervous, and she's like, it's fine, it's gonna be. I was like, I know. For me, I just need the game time to be here, because once game time's here, there's no
What
time
was your
to be
pregame
nervous.
speech? I mean,
So I don't give a lot of hoorah things.
No?
It's like, hey girls, we've practiced. We've been on this stage. You know how to perform here. Just play your game.
Yeah.
Play how you play, and just show them what we're made of. Don't let them know that, we have Taunton's a bad rep, a lot of times with sports and, a lot of negativity.
It's getting a lot better. It's getting a lot better.
We had a little bit of that in that game. And, just don't let that noise, cloud you from the game. We're here. We're going to stick together and we're just going to work hard and, just show them what we're made of and just leave it all out on the field. And hopefully the score at the end is on our side.
What was the score of that game? You remember?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
State champion, defeated Catholic, Central Catholic
It
for
might
the
have been
title. Was it close?
5-0.
Oh, is it 5-0? Okay,
don't
so
know.
you're getting down
I
to the
don't
final out. As long as it's not a close
Yeah.
game. You know what I mean?
I
That's
don't remember what it was. I don't know why.
Do you remember the last out, like, and then celebrating, running on the
So
field? Or?
we had issues. Was it? Yeah, because Sam had something wrong with her finger. She had like an infection on one of her fingers, and there was like a delay game at one point, and she was struggling a little bit pitching. Because of that, they wouldn't let her keep a Band-Aid on it, so she couldn't. Like, she kept losing her grip. But when we got to that final out, and it was just unbelievable. I don't know. It's just like this unbelievable. My goodness!
You're a champion.
Like, you're at this like final moment, and it just all comes to fruition, and it's just unbelievable. And you're there with your friends, is what I say, because I spent a lot of time with these girls and like the coaching staff. I spent a lot of time with them.
Did you grab your coaches?
Oh yeah. Like, we put a lot of time and effort into this, and just as much as the girls do. The girls work really hard, but they sacrifice so much from their families, and to be able to do this.
Well, you're now a 3-time champion, right? So I'm not saying everyone is so much work. But they say, though, when you start winning and you expect to win, the wins aren't as beautiful, so to speak, right? Do you feel any of that with your team?
I felt a little bit of that. I would say against the BR team. They were just like anticlimactic in a way. And I said to them, I was like, every moment, like, we have to cherish this. Like, this is unheard of. Like, I know you guys have been here, and I know this is, maybe you're tired or whatever else today, but like, these are like unprecedented moments. Like, you have to be excited for each one of these. And
they don't realize it will end.
Yeah.
There will be a year you don't win the championship.
Yep.
I hope it never comes in my lifetime, or, I'm not wishing anything on you, but you go into every season, every other team you're playing against is going into the season to be where you are right now. And it's a very, very difficult thing to do every year.
Right.
Each one is independent of themselves. I mean, Bill Belichick, all the great coaches say the same thing. I don't care what we did last year. Take them banners down. Don't show them to, show them to these people so that they understand we're good, but,
just give them a bigger target is what I always say.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to pause for 1 second. This is like a service announcement for myself all the time. I am a Taunton High alum. I coach at BR. I'm going to put it out there. Every time I have one of my coaches in here, I want Taunton High BR playing each other on a regular. Do you feel that way? Do you understand that? Do you as a player remember playing BR or not playing BR?
I remember playing BR. They were one of our biggest rivals, and I mean, even this year, it was a tight game for us in that game.
Packed house.
Yeah. So,
would you want to play? Would you want to play them? Would that matter to you? They're always a good softball program. They have a good team every year.
We've talked about it. There's like a.
I don't want to talk about. I know it's. Trust me.
It's an
the administration,
rule.
the adults, the adults needed to leave the room, so to speak, for this one. But I really hope that, just putting it out there, I always say it can manifest itself.
Yeah.
I'd love to see you guys play each year.
Yep.
Taunton and BR softball is the best in the area, and you know what? They need to start stepping their game up. And when you play someone like yourself, that will step their game up. And I have nothing to do with them. Like I said, my wife played Taunton High. I went to Taunton High. Like, I don't. The girls softball team over there, I know some players that went there, because I coach over there, but. All my kids went to BR. I have 4 kids, but none of them played softball. So I'm not really embedded in that program like some other ones over there, just from my kids being there and myself coaching. But I would love to see you guys play BR. That's my service announcements. That's over now. We're going to go back to the show here. Some of these names too. I mean, this is the championship game, right? So this is what I'm pulling up and seeing. But Ava plays college ball, right? Yep. Brooke plays college ball, right?
Well, Brooke will be there next year.
You're going to see, you're going to see.
Casey plays, Kylia played, Sam
Bella's going to play too when
Ava
she gets
plays,
there,
Mia Fernandez.
Do you realize
the amount of kids that play?
No. Oh. What that means though, like, we have a lot of kids that play for us at BR2, but I hope you understand how important you are to those people, you coaches, and I'll put you in particular for these here, but when you go back to your former coaches as well too, like for you to go to that next level means they love that game so much. And you were a big part of it because they're growing from adolescence into young adulthood to college ball is adult. Yeah. It's adult. You're adults when you get there, basically, from day one. That part, I hope you understand, and credit to you for doing that with these kids that are going, because Doug and I look at our program, and quite frankly, we always say every year we almost have one or two kids that are playing at the next level. I don't care if it's community college or Texas Tech. Perfect game. I'm proud of all of them in that fact. And some of them don't want to play, and I get that too. They might have the talent to, but don't want to. But it's a huge, and you'll see something going forward too. Go ahead to the next one there, D. So this is before you. Yep. But you know about it because you're in the program, right? What are you doing at this point in the program?
So this year I was actually in between houses. So I say homeless loosely. We were waiting for my house to be built, so I couldn't be a part of the coaching staff.
Okay, so
I was.
But you know all these girls,
a lot
right?
of these girls. I coached Liv on the JV team when I was there,
and she played at Bridgewater.
Yep.
So I mean,
she
this
was at
team.
Framingham,
I thought this quote up here, and again, it's hard to read when you're just watching it, so it'll be put up too. Though there was I forget which one it was. I was going to read it. It didn't matter that the big three of the class of 21 had graduated. This is a 22 team, right? Yeah. So you had a big three on the class of 21. It didn't matter that some statewide publications didn't have them among the favorites. If anything, that only added to their determination as a group of talented softball players up and down the lineup with resiliency and unwavering support of each other and an undying belief they were capable of defending their title. Somebody is writing that about the Taunton High softball team is just awesome. I
was there watching that game, and it was really cool to watch. They are resilient, and Carrie did a really great job coaching them and making them believe and, teaching each one of them that they were just as talented as the big three, and they were capable as a team to come together.
Now, what would you say you learned from Carrie?
She's just knowledgeable. She's really knowledgeable about certain situations. She can read pitches, the way the pitches, come off and show them and kind of give you some clues on that. She's good at,
technical
calling pitches.
Stuff.
Yeah,
can
she's
you
really
share
good.
that with me a little bit? I love that part of the game. So a throwing motion, you can tell?
Yeah, so when they're, throwing the ball, how it's released, you can tell what type of pitch they're throwing. So if you're a really
And what are the primary
batter,
pitches? Sorry, I like getting technical for a little bit, though, so my brain goes this way.
They don't throw a lot of fastballs anymore in softball. A lot of it has spin on it. The reason being is that it's harder to hit a really good ball with spin, as you can tell with the BR game.
Really hard.
It's really hard. And,
really?
we knew that
nowhere.
going. It does. It goes straight up or straight down. And, it's an easy fieldable ball. So if you keep that spin, doesn't matter about the velocity. It makes it harder for the batters to get
when you have both.
Yeah.
When you have both, I call it's like a cutter in baseball.
Yep.
Mariano Rivera threw a cut fastball and it would break a bat.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't really hit it even with anything. If you got full contact with it, it would probably break the bat. And I feel that way with watching the spin, as you call it. I feel that way when I'm watching that. It's like, oh my God, I can't even see a rotation on the ball.
It's funny because you can't necessarily always see it from the side, but if you're straight back watching it come in, you're like, oh wow, that definitely does have spin on it. So a lot of them throw curves, backdoor curves, rise balls. They'll come in high and then rise up out of the zone, or drop ball. They throw the drop curve, so it comes in and it curves out, but it also drops.
Drop curve. Wow.
Yeah, and they'll change up. So change up is a game changer. So
if you can get that release to look anything like the fastball, the spin, you know what I mean, then it's
get it low out of the zone is my preference. But
is that right? Low out of the zone?
For me, I like it low and out of the zone once it gets to the batter, because then it looks like it's coming in low, and then it just dies. If you leave it too far up,
so if you do hit it, you pound it in the dirt for a ground out.
Yep.
Interesting. So. I didn't know that. Hey, go back one slide for a second, D. I just want to say something that I thought was really cool. So when I went to the BR game, I was at Coach Bork's loss, and I didn't know at the time his daughter played. I honestly didn't get it all yet. You know what I mean? So I was at his last game, and it was a tough game. And 2 days later, here I see Coach Bork at your game, or if whatever days later, next day, I don't know, a couple of days later when you're playing BR. And he walks out into the outfield, and I'm like, you know that? And I know now that he's a dad and stuff too, but I know him as well. It's awesome to see you guys have the respect for each other. And I saw a lot of baseball players at your game, standing out in the outfield, hooting and hollering. You know, some had, I saw them a couple of days before. I knew they were the baseball players. I could tell you who they were if I knew their name. The one was a pitcher. One was the kid who made, I don't even want to say he made the last out, the fifth batter. You know what I mean? Like, and they were all there just hooting and hollering for you guys. Do you feel that camaraderie with them?
We do. And we felt that for years. I feel like, you know, the baseball and softball teams support each other, and they have for a very long time, which is really nice. So prior to, you know, when they had that game, our girls' game was at night. So we were able to go watch them for a little bit, and then I had to have the girls report. So I was actually, you know, at that game as well until we couldn't be there.
I thought that was cool. Okay, you dropped 2 down now. So 2021, right? Let's this is a good year too. The nutty thing about this, do you see this stat that's nuts? Taunton's offense outscored opponents 203 is insane, but the more insane number is 2.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
It's my wife. I'm the only one. I love it. Darius, drop one more slide down. Because, and someone here, because instead of me talking about it, I'd like to have some guests on the show to show up here today, and maybe they can talk to us about it if are they here? Is somebody in the lobby over there, D? Can you pop them up?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, funny story. So go back up to the previous slide now, so we know that Kelsey's going to be joining us, hopefully, to see here. So, hey, Kelsey, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good. Darius is working on getting you on our screen. Oh, very cool. Thanks for joining us today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
It's the, you know, I figured like, you know, all about certain times, right? And then a little bit, I know you're involved with the program, but the people that actually were part of these teams that started the run, so to speak. One of them was this young lady I've known a long time. Actually, I've known her parents. We went to school together. So I've known her for a long time. And I have enjoyed watching your career at the high school and college level. And you know, I thought having you here to kind of talk about the 2021 year was your last year, right? I know you were part of other years, 18. You got messed up with all the COVID, right? First of all, this is Kelsey White. Yeah. Kelsey White is the 2-time or 3-time? How many championships you got? 2-time championship. She got robbed from COVID. They would have definitely won 3. And then you guys, it was 1 year in between there that you got knocked out, right? Am I saying this correctly? Bishop Fian had a year, right? So see that there is a year the Tigers don't win. not usually, but and Kelsey then takes her talents over to Villanova, which, as we've been talking about, is amazing that you guys have this talent that's gone through. So Kelsey, tell me, what was it like on that 2021 team, right? So you already had won a championship. You're coming through some weird times with COVID. What was it like for you guys to get back on the field that year as a team?
It was definitely exciting. We had a young group, and we that year the season was shortened. So we only had, I think it was like 16 games.
Yeah, everybody's seasons got shortened that year.
Yeah, including the tournament.
Is that the mask year too? Do you guys have to wear masks or anything that year? I don't think so, right?
I don't think we did. No.
Cool.
Because it was outside, so I think it was fine.
And you were pitching and playing the field too, or just pitching at that point in time?
I played a few in the outfield, but I was mostly just pitching. I shared some time with Sam Lincoln and Kate Larson. Liv Mendonca that year.
So you were mostly pitching, but because
Yes.
this is an amazing stat here, Kelsey. You didn't get to hear this, but in that year that you guys had 203 runs. Know how many runs you gave up that year?
2. I'll never forget it.
How that's mind-boggling to me. Like I'm gonna, and then I need to ask. I ask all my players that come on. There was also something else. There's two things I want to ask you. One is, what's your mindset like when you're approaching a game, especially a tight game? You're going into the fifth inning, and you've had enough of these, right? You're going into a fifth inning, sixth inning in high school, and it's a close game. And what's your mindset like when you're toeing the rubber, when you're getting up there?
I try to stay calm. Before every game, I get a little nervous, but during the game, I find my flow, and I just kind of attack every batter the same, and don't take a pitch off.
What do you mean by flow? See, this is where it's like you're in the zone, right? This is as a coach, I'm trying to be a better coach, right? How would I teach my kids to find the flow?
I'd say just taking one pitch at a time, one batter at a time, not thinking ahead, just staying present with that batter, I think is super important, to just find a groove, and then just sort of trust your defense behind you, that they have your back, and to not worry. It helps take the nerve off a lot.
Nice. So the other question I have for you is, you helped the Wildcats to an opening Big East tournament victory with a walk-off hit against St. John's. So on the other end of that, what is your mindset when you're going to that at-bat? I'm sure you have to remember it. That's quite an impressive little at-bat, right? So take me through your thought process in approaching that at-bat.
So we were facing Anna Serafenko, who is like a top pitcher in the Big East. And she throws a lot of balls. She's very spinny. Gets a lot of people to chase. So during that at bat, I was just really focused on staying within my strike zone, not letting her have the entire plate. So I was just sort of picking my pitches. But I did have, I think it was like a 2-2 count, and she had thrown me a changeup, which is like one of her best pitches, but she had left it over the zone. And so I just kind of threw my hands at it, which at that point was enough, because sometimes you just need to get it over the infield or through the infield and to score that run. And it happened to go behind the outfield. So
how'd that feel? Did the team come greet you a little bit on that one there?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a good moment.
I can imagine. Well, we're at that part of the show here where I would like you to see if you could ask our coach a question, because as much as I know, I don't know about spinnies and all this stuff as you experts do, so to speak, or any question that you might have that might help me out.
Yeah. Well, first of all, congrats on a great season.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It was fun to watch. But what has it been like for you to coach your daughter Mia and see her produce and her success, and being such a huge part of this state tournament this year?
For me, it's like prideful in a moment. You hope that your kids, it's just like any other parent coaching their kid. We're just at a different level, or, I'm just proud of her, proud that she's resilient. She's come through in big moments. She's felt down a lot of times throughout the season, and, she didn't let that define her. And she came out huge for us in this postseason. So, I keep reminding her it doesn't have to always be those home run balls. You're not a home run hitter. It's okay. You do a really good job of, bunting and slapping and putting the ball in play, and, as we call it, creating chaos, and, embrace those things. And so for me, it's very, I'm just happy to see.
That's a great question. That is absolutely a great question. Kelsey, let me ask you one more thing. You were younger in the first 2018 victory, right? The 2018 championship team. D, we got another guest? in the lobby yet?
Yeah, we got 2 of them. I don't
Kaya.
know which one. Okay.
Yeah. So let's see if we can't. I don't know how technology goes. I am not a professional, but we're going to see what we can't do. No, you're staying. I want to see if you guys can actually hear and talk to each other as well, too. So this is kind of new to us, is what I was running through before you were here. We've had one guest before, and he echoed really throughout the show, and we had to figure out settings. And we were able to do that, but now I'm trying to see if we actually can't. Oh, look who's here now. This is part of and you can drop our slide down to 2018 for a second. We're going to go back to a couple of these and we'll look at them a little bit more. Hi, Kaya. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, my goodness. I'm so happy to have you on the show. We have a little history as well, too. I do know Kaya since she was a very young girl to a obviously beautiful young lady now. Kaya, we've got Kelsey here as well, too. She can hear you. I don't know if you guys, can you see each other right now, too?
Yes, that's who she was waving to.
Technology is awesome because we can't see all of you. We can just see you right now because we don't get the ability to see both. So Kaya, we're getting through the 2019. Is that right? 2019 team?
This is the 2018.
This is the 2018 team.
Yeah.
That 2018 team is where, you know, we can see some of it in the background here of your team jumping around and really, this is the first one though, right? This is the first one of the new generation.
First one for a very long time
of that time frame. So you were basically at that point in time already the veteran on that team. Is that correct? And if I see you,
I was a senior.
Yeah, if I see you jumping up and down in the background here, you're the catcher for the team, right?
I sure was.
Yes. So you were catching all these unbelievable pitchers at that point in time. And not only that, you were producing on the other side of the plate, batting as well, too. What do you remember about that year? Like, what was different about that year for you guys? Because it was 2007? I don't know. It was 10 years before or more since Taunton High was they weren't on the map anymore for softball. Right. What was it like going into that year for you as a leader and everything else?
I think for me, I had already kind of had my mind set up on, college and whatnot, and I really wanted to make it a priority to have fun my senior year. And a couple of the things that I think really fueled us through that year was, well, aside from Kelsey's pitching, but leadership, really great friendships. I think we had really great chemistry. In a team that has really great chemistry with a great coach who cares about the kids, and kids as human beings and not just athletes, really made the difference. D'Lo is one of my favorite people to this day. I think obviously he had a large part in that. We wanted it for him. He wanted it for us. We wanted it for one another. And I think that that's really a large part of stuff that just fed into it. Of course, on top of the fact that I think we had some of the best players in Massachusetts, but
listen, I'm looking at the names here of that just came up: Linda Duard and yourself and Mackenzie and Alexa White, Kelsey White, Jamie Brown, Hannah Aldrich. I know most of these people played in college as well too. It's just incredible what talent you guys had in those teams back then. How did you feel like knowing that you were? When you're playing catcher, you're looking at the game from a whole different view. You're the only one that has that view of the game. Maybe a coach, maybe an umpire, but you're the only player who has that view of the game. What is it like for you to be that? You have to be a leader back there. I don't even know if you. Yeah. We haven't discussed this before, right? But I know you have to be a leader behind there when you're doing that. What's that feel like? What's that
absolutely.
Feel like for you when you're in a game?
Somewhat nerve-wracking because everyone's kind of. Probably not as nerve-wracking as being a pitcher, but that everyone's kind of counting on you to lead the field. That everyone's kind of going off of your cadence, you're setting the tone. You're kind of setting the mood, the vibe for every pitch, every game, no matter what it is. So it's not a job for everybody. It's funny because as I'm like getting older and I'm getting into coaching and stuff or helping out like younger girls who no one wants to catch. Like that's like the position no one wants to play.
Kelsey, how was she as a catcher?
Very reliable, very trustworthy. A wall. To say the least.
Yeah, so I mean, it must have helped that she was, an older
when you were pitching, it had to help, right?
Yeah, for sure. It was easy. It made my job a lot easier. I felt like I could throw anything, whether it was in the dirt over her head, and she was gonna stop it no matter what.
Yeah.
So
You got a dog there too, Kaya? Is that my dog?
Yeah, I'm
I like
sorry.
no,
She's
dogs are welcome.
quite
Is there
large.
any dog
She's a
here?
great.
No, they're not. Trust me, if they come to the show, we love dogs. Dogs don't. I got
Yes,
two that
someone's
walk in
home,
and out here the
so
whole time. So, and behind me is
sorry about that.
my dog that passed away. So don't worry about that at all. We love it.
Bosco.
Yes, Bosco. R.I.P. Bosco. She knows one of my dogs. Yeah. So yeah, I love it. So Kelsey, I'm gonna let you go, girl. I appreciate you being on here too. I want to pick Kaya's brain just a little bit more.
yeah, of course. Thanks for having
And
me.
then, but yeah, we loved having you, and thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. I can't believe technology's
you.
working
Thank you.
today. Hopefully,
Kyle.
knock
Bye,
on
Kyle.
wood.
Bye.
Kaya, I just want to ask you one more thing, and then I hope you
Sure.
maybe got a
So
question.
she should stop barking.
No,
soon.
that's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. Going to UMaine, what position did you play there?
I actually played outfield like my entire time there
How'd you like
for
that?
several reasons, but I loved it. I loved outfield. It is so fun. It was never fun in high school because no one could ever hit our pitchers. So nothing came out there,
Yeah,
but I love the outfield.
very good. So,
I feel like Kaya's selling herself short.
good.
Kaya is just, I mean, if you see in the photos, she's a vibrant energy that she brought to the field all the time. And, you know, if she showed that she was nervous, I had no idea. So it's nice to like hear these things that you're saying now and know that like you brought all that energy and that greatness to the field. It was fun to watch you play.
yeah, you better know that you started all this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you girls know that. I'm telling you. And again, I'm not dismissing the earlier crew. We're going to talk about. She was part of the earlier crew, so she knew what that was like. But in the same breath, you know, there is always something about that first one getting over the hump, as they say. You know, like because then when you see it and you touch it and you feel it, then you know what to do and how to get to the next one. And these girls that were sitting on the sideline watching you. It's probably the same girl pitching at Texas Tech right now. You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, kudos to you for that. Got a question for the coach?
I do have a question for you, Coach. I even wrote it down. I don't know. I think for me, one of the biggest things that I've taken from all of my coaches is like just a lot of life lessons, right? So things that I utilize every day in softball and work, whatever it is. So my question for you to kind of pick your brain a little bit would be, what is something that you want your players to be able to take away, well after they're done playing for you? Like I can say D-Lou definitely taught me a bunch of stuff. My coach at UMaine, and I just think that's such a crucial part of being a coach is you're such a big part of our lives. So yeah, what is something that you would want your players to take with them, a characteristic, a lesson, whatever it is?
I think for me, Dilo was my coach too. So like I think of back of a lot of those things that he brought. But for me, it's family. When I look at Dilo, I look at him as like a dad. I don't want to disappoint my dad. And, I hope these girls grow up playing and being a part of our community, our Taunton High community, and like knowing that we're a family. And, even when times get hard, we're here. We're all going to lean on each other. And so for them, I want them to take away that sense of family and, the sense of comfort and home, and you're always welcome. So I just hope that they know the resilience. They know how to fight hard. They know how to, battle. That's not something I necessarily have to teach them, but to know at the end of the day that we're just one big family.
Absolutely.
Kai, what are you up to these days? What are you doing?
I am currently living in Pennsylvania. I was just living in New Jersey. My fiance is a football coach. We're hopping around a lot.
Fiance? So that means somebody popped a question to you? Oh, congratulations to you.
Yeah, thanks. I'm like grown now. Weird.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so I'm working currently in a treatment facility for court adjudicated youth, specifically females. Really interesting. I learn stuff every day. Prior to that, I was working in the court system, the Fall River Justice Center, in Superior Court in the probation department. Did the same thing in New Jersey. So definitely the criminal justice, criminal legal system thing. But yeah, so we'll see how long we're here in PA for.
You're mentoring, you're coaching in a whole different way. So you're going to be coaching on the field and off the field. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you're beautiful as ever. I'm so happy that you came on here today. I'll let Savvy. I got to talk to you today more than she did. Savvy's my stepdaughter. They're good friends. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on there,
thanks,
girl.
Guys.
We'll
Good
catch
to
up
see
with
you
you later.
Thanks, Derek.
Yep. So now we get to 2018, right? And the Great Dane is not giving up. Well, hey, our girls have been pretty good. If they want to come in, they would let you know if they wanted to come in.
We'll talk about the 2018 for a second. For me meant a lot in this 2018 team is Alexa and Kelsey played together. So they're also sisters, and Kelsey was the pitcher, and Alexa came up with that huge grand slam to solidify the win for that game. So to see her that
who had the home run?
Alexa.
She did?
Yeah, grand slam home run.
Awesome.
You just saw her jumping up and down, running the bases. It was unbelievable to watch.
That would have been like, is that picture?
No.
So
that
is a crazy picture right there. What is that moment?
That top left photo that's not the photo, but that looks like the image of the night. Dreary, rainy.
It was, yeah.
Yep.
I just love the fact that there's always these moments. God, I wish I had her right now to pick her brain, because I always want to just know it's a common thread, right? You got to focus, got to be in the moment, but it's a lot of people have a lot of talk.
Yeah.
It is so hard to do in any sport. It is so hard to be in that focus for that one pitch and have your body just be able to do what it knows how to do. Because I think that's a lot of what it takes. But to actually, that's why I like asking people, what do they do when you walk into the plate?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, do you have to get the bat ready? Is it a routine?
About routines. Yeah.
And I think a routine is huge when it comes to that as well too. You guys have such a great routine. 13-2 though. You know what name keeps coming up here though? Wachusett.
Yep.
I mean, are they that good? And just are they listen, you guys are in pinstripes one year. I'm like, you guys act like we're all Red Sox fans. Don't get mad at anybody, but you act like the Yankees. You guys are the Yankees, right? And Wachusett seems to be the Red Sox. Lately, it might flip that switch, but you get what I'm saying, right? Are they?
We started that run in 2021, beating Wachusett, and then we just beat them this year.
Yeah, they come up a lot. I'm like,
do.
This Wachusett. They won one in there one time.
They did. I think they were the 2019 one.
Yeah, they were the one in. I actually have some other stuff that will be able to show that eventually. I think they were in between. They got one in there somehow. It might have been right before your run or right during your run. I
think it was 2019.
Were they the 2019 team?
I might be wrong.
We'll see. It might come up later. Anybody else here you got to think about or talk about? Go drop the next slide, because Kaya didn't get the chance to see this. She'll see this when it pops up. Darius, you got me on that next one.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is I love that picture of the top right corner. That just shows you guys are having fun when you're there, And it's kind of funny because even though it's a Photoshop, it's like then college becomes so serious. Like it's almost too serious sometimes. A job when you're getting paid. Well, then the NIL money wasn't probably as much as predominant for these players, but in the same breath, you go up there and you get a scholarship, and they expect more out of you as well too. And so yeah, that's a good looking picture too. Drop one more down. So 2007. This is just kind of where history needs some. You need help with this history, so to speak. And I'm hoping you might know a little bit, might not know a little bit, but I'm pretty impressed with what the continuing. We just dropped 11 years, right? So there's an 11-year hiatus, but it wasn't. We're not going back to 1997 though. Like I mentioned before, the basketball team won in 97, hasn't won since. Really, nobody's won at Taunton High since. Mm-hmm. So this group of 3 to 4 championships from 97 to 2007, in that 10 years, there's 4 championships in 10 years. That's a pretty good little dynasty in and of itself, right? I mean, do you know any of these players? Yeah. So you were a little bit before them though, right? Mm-hmm. So you've graduated, you've moved on. Are these players that you might have seen on the sidelines or anything of that nature, or stayed in touch with the program to know?
So I grew up playing with Shannon Duffy. I played with her sister, Kelsey, mainly. The Clemmies, we played with them growing up. Jess Furtado, played with her sister growing up. I know the Dame, Jessica Matoza, Jackie Tierney played with my sister. So
you see what
we live in a softball community.
Yes.
You grow up, knowing everybody, and everybody just always supports each other, which is really cool. The one right there with the mitt in the hand, that's catcher. That's Coach Riss Altman.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's Coach Riz right there?
That's Coach Marissa Altman.
Wow. I love it.
She was the catcher for Aaron Wade,
God,
the 2007 championship team.
Delu, he
doesn't age.
I definitely want to have him in here sometime just to go. He just seems like a person that everybody, was like the crazy glue for this program, right? And I know Jack Tripp came before him, but he seems to be the one that put this whole program on the map as well, too. This girl right here, that Erin Wade Hernandez, sounds like to get inducted to the first Hall of Fame class at Taunton High, and softball had 2, right? I think 2, or was it 1?
So Delu as a coach.
Delu as a coach, that's what I meant. Yeah. So I knew there was 2 softballs.
Yeah.
That's what ended up happening there. That's amazing. That's awesome.
She has some impressive stats at Taunton High. She has the highest winning percentage, number of games winning, I believe. Highest strikeouts. I think it was like 900 and something.
Really?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wow. Good. You're on.
I don't know the exact number, but it's 9 something.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So this team just comes out of nowhere, or was it a kind of expected this team? Can you remember it all?
I don't remember those details, but they had all the components. It's just, it doesn't matter if you have the talent necessarily. A lot of the girls talk about camaraderie, the team chemistry. Are they willing to fight for each other? Are they, going to leave it all out on the field? And I think this team was one of those teams.
D, drop it down, Mom. So now this is where you come on board, right?
Yep.
So no longer a coach. Take off that hat.
Yeah.
Even though I like my hat. Thank you guys very much, Coach Fox. Thank you. But this is now getting back to a player, right? How does a player, if you already know how to win, it's easier to win, right? So coaching, yes, you had to build off of that experience of your first win, but you're actually building off experience you've already had as a player, right?
Yeah.
How do you take those emotions, or can you remember those emotions as a player going through this time frame in your life? Because, quite frankly, it's hard to find stuff about those classes. I can't just look up and find pictures and move stuff. So how did you guys motivate yourself back then? Because it wasn't like now. I digress to say, these girls get, if you're going to Georgetown, boom, the lights are on. And, of course, there's a lot more things to kind of work for to get. But back then it was like the love of the game, really, right?
Yeah. I believe so, too. I played with Kate my whole life. Her father was one of my coaches. Love the guy. I still, every time I see him, I tell him how much of an inspiration he was, growing through the years. He coached alongside with my father, and he's just a great guy. And Kate's just a great athlete. She's a great role model. She was always older than me, and she just reminds me a lot like the current Kate Larson, calm, cool, collected on the mound. Just went out there.
I didn't put that together till now. A couple of Kates.
Yeah.
One with a K, one with a C.
Just went out there and worked hard. Kelsey White was the same way. She's, game face on and doesn't let things bother her. And just, again, like she said, she's, thinking about every pitch and, maybe this one didn't work, but I'm still going to throw it because I trust myself. And Kate was very much like that.
So what positions did you play?
So I pitched and played third, but on these teams I played third.
Played third?
Yeah.
The hot spot.
Yep. Hot corner.
Yeah, the hot corner. A lot to know at third base, man.
Yeah.
You've got to be involved a lot more than people think.
So what was great about Kate is she had the speed, and not many people could head her back then. So they relied on the short game a lot more than I think now. So I was able to help her and take away that small ball game for her.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So did you ever take a hot shot over there, though?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure I have. I say as long as it doesn't hit me in the face, we're good.
Yeah, selective memory at third base.
Yeah.
I am happy, though, that back in our day, they didn't wear a mask.
No,
on the
I don't know what it's like.
Oh.
Kids wear masks all the time. I'm like, just use your glove.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad they do it the pitching position, though.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a pretty dangerous position. But Gatorade Player of the Year, that's pretty cool. Because back then,
yeah, it was unheard of.
That was it.
Yeah, that was like your highest award, which was really cool and well deserved. She just She's such a great kid.
Yeah.
And, I mean, she's not a kid. She's a woman now.
Yeah,
but
of
when I
course.
played with her,
So, and I love that because, I don't pull this up. I didn't make this up. This is AI talking, but your name comes up during that as well, too, to say that you were on both of these teams. Drop it down one more for me, D.
we won that 2-1 game and on a suicide squeeze.
Go back then.
Sorry.
No,
I forgot about that.
yeah, you know what? That's right. Right here. The game went to extra innings.
Yep.
So talk me through that. Who
I don't remember it.
Come on, you got to remember a little bit of it.
I don't. I just remember.
Okay, you won the game.
It was a daring moment. Somebody's on third. We go for a suicide squeeze, is where you turn and bunt,
of course,
and you have to get the bunt down no matter what, because you have to put the bat in the ball because the run is going on the pitch, and it worked beautifully, and we won the game. And I just remember being so excited. And D'Lo used to have these shirts made for us for after the game, and I forgot to bring it. I have the shirt. It's like two back-to-back championships for 2002 and 2003.
Oh, that's
really
so
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
So it was a suicide. What a gutsy.
Yeah.
What a gutsy coaching. Now you got to think about it as a coach, right?
Yeah.
He's like suicide squeeze.
You got to do
just
it.
Doing it.
I mean,
wow.
and sometimes, if you can get a runner on third and you're like, all right, well, we got to do what we can to get this run to score. And
yeah, especially if you got a
plenty
great
times
pitcher
like that.
on the mound.
Yeah.
2-1. There was some pitchers out there that were obviously dealing. Drop down one, D. Hold on, I gotta get one thing here.
I feel like I was young and naive in this game. I'm a sophomore.
I can't find much, so you're gonna have to help me. Talk me through some of this.
I'm a
season.
sophomore, first time on a championship game. I know I
Are
was
you playing
nervous.
third?
I was playing third.
Yeah.
I don't remember much of the game, but I do remember, obviously winning 5-0.
Oh my God, you girls are. This is not right. This is not right.
Well, you just remember,
I see what you guys have won so much, but I love that because it is about the next one.
Yeah,
you know
well,
what I
not
mean?
even the next one. Like, you enjoy the moment. The things that I remember about it is the celebration afterwards, like being excited and like everybody running out there and like.
Who was pitching in that game?
Kate Millett.
She was pitching on that one as well too.
My sister was on the team, so like winning the first state championship together was really cool. She didn't play, but
is she a senior?
She was a senior.
Yeah, that's cool though. Yeah. Listen, my favorite players. I always say, you asking me the ones that played or my favorite players?
Yeah.
Because my favorite players, they're totally different things on all the years I coached. I have some guys that I'll be in my life for the rest of my life and they didn't play a minute or not barely any minutes. And they'll be better coaches than some of my best players if they decide to do so.
Yeah.
So that I never worry about that when it comes to that. But that's pretty cool too. Let's drop down one more. I'm gonna go through this just a little bit. This is if you got somebody in the lobby, we're gonna go one more time to the lobby if that's possible. But this is the first, right?
Yep.
So nobody forgets their first.
No.
And I was fortunate enough to have our next guest who will be coming up join us as well too. From Ohio.
Love it.
Hey, Michelle.
Oh, you guys, why don't you introduce her then, seeing that you know her?
This is the greatest Adrienne Leone.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah, she's I love it because me and you talking off air has been so much fun for me. Just getting to, I'm a 1988 guy, right? You want to talk about no pictures? We had color back then, and everything still is in black and white, if you know what I mean. And the first championship is always the hardest. Anywhere, anytime, all of that fun stuff. Your group did it, and you led them. You were one of the key factors in leading them to that. So first of all, welcome to the show, as we would always say. But second of all, I love the Pioneers. You're the pioneer of a juggernaut, and that's got to feel good, right?
I mean, listen, we did something big, right? But we couldn't have done it without the teams before us. There were a lot of great players that I looked up to, namely from, I think, the 90s group there, like Amy Cavilha, Christy Wilbur, Trisha Beener, Judy Gallagher.
Love Judy Gallagher, by the way.
She was actually one of my travel team coaches
She played with my
growing
sister
up
too, but basketball on that side. So yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it felt really good to be the first, right? And I'll tell you, one of the girls on my team, Carrie Levesque, our right fielder, whenever we're talking about it with people, she'll always add, "We were the first."
Yes.
But
what positions were you playing back then?
So, funny enough, I was the only freshman on varsity, I think, the year before. And I was sort of waiting my turn to take the mound behind Christy Gavillog, right? So, I mean, it's a Gavillog sister, so who happened to be my neighbor, and her sister are the ones who got me into the softball because I was playing baseball before that. Yeah. Our backyards intersect with one another, so I thought, my sophomore year I'd be the starting pitcher, and I think kind of everybody thought that. And I pitched, but there ended up being a 3-pitcher rotation for the first half-ish of the season. And when I wasn't pitching, I was playing anywhere else he wanted me. So there are a couple of games where I was at first base. I think I played second. I think I played outfield even. Just wherever I needed to help out, I did. And then we lost our first OCL game, our first All-Colony League game in, I think, 11 years. And I was at first base for that game. I was against Silver Lake. And when they came around the next time, I was the starter. We won. And then I became the starter for the rest of the season.
They say sophomore slump, and coaches have that mentality sometimes that can you rely on the sophomore? And again, that's in certain sports. Maybe you were caught back. Keep going back and back and back. You couldn't even play varsity didn't matter what sport. You couldn't play varsity as a freshman when I played. Couldn't play it. The best kids could be a freshman. You couldn't play. Sophomores rarely played a varsity sport when I was in high school. So there was probably some of that old time thinking still going on around there at that time in regards to what might have been making some of those decisions behind the scenes.
Yeah, and I think, going into that season, I think we had lost a lot of great talent, right? We had a lot of all-stars. And let me tell you, if you talk to anyone on our team, we're tired of hearing that because that's all we heard. It's like, we lost a bunch of all-stars and we're working with a bunch of blue-collar players this year. It's a rebuilding year.
There was a previous slide that you didn't get to hear, but one team the year after, right? I read that quote. The big 3 left.
Yeah. And
they weren't supposed to be anything, and I think it sounds like what happened to you guys. It drove you a little bit to be like, no, we're still here. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it definitely did.
So did you pitch all through the playoffs?
I did. Like I said, right from that Silver Lake game,
so now
I think I went every game.
This is how I am. I have to know. So I got to ask, you're in the championship game. Describe to me if you can remember any of your process, or what was it that led you to rise up in that final game? I know you won pretty easily. I'm looking at a score of 11-1, but it was 0-0 to start the game.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think we kind of approached it. It's funny because there's one particular game.
Hold on. I don't want to know we. I am on a quest as a coach to try to understand the zone, the flow, anything that you could help me understand how you were able to rise and succeed as a championship player at that point in time.
All right. I don't like to talk me. No, that's hard for me.
That's okay. Just for 1 minute, and I'll let it end at that. Right. There'll be no more questions like that.
So part of it starts with tradition. And this is going to sound funny, right? But we took a school bus to the game. That's the first thing. Mrs. Tripp, rest in peace. If you don't know, she recently passed. But she pulled me out of class and said, "Oh, Adrienne," with her Louisiana accent. She said, "We got a charter bus for the game in Worcester, and we're going to be comfortable and we're going to be good." And I said, hold on. I said, we're not going to take a charter bus. Tradition has it. We've been in a school bus the entire playoffs. We're going to take a school bus. I had the same pregame meal which oddly enough was like probably the worst thing I could ever have had. But we won our first game with it, and it was like the biggest stuffed cream cheese bagel from Dunkin' Donuts. But it started that way, and I had to go get it. I don't even know if I ate it, but at that point I had gotten it every game, so I had to get it. That year, one of our city councilmen, I think, he had always brought us like the power bars. We called him the Power Bar Man. I really want to say his last name was Stroney, and I really feel bad if I'm messing that up. But
Tommy, Steven, or Michael ring a bell? They're all Ted. Any of those?
I could be wrong. I apologize if that's the case.
We'll figure that out. Cool. They were my neighbors.
He brought us power bars.
Nice.
So started off with one of those, or had one of those just in case they needed it. So that was the first and foremost. We got all that set and out of the way. And just, I don't know, anytime I played, it was just going out there and playing for fun, having, a clear mind, just optimistic, and a relaxed vibe. Like, I kind of approached every game like that. And I think at that point, I knew the mindset of everyone around me too. I knew that it was comfortable. We were confident if we just went out and played relaxed. The crowd didn't bother me. Like, as a pitcher, I had always sort of blocked that out.
In what way? How do you block that out?
I don't know. You just get in this kind of tunnel, right? It's just me and the catcher. I can see the batter because I use them as a guide because they're in the batter's box, right? But I just don't hear anything. I called my own game back then. So it was a lot of focus on who's up and who's up next. So that was a lot of how I blocked it out, because I had to think strategy in that moment, but also then physically pitch the ball. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get to that point now where maybe you have a question you can ask us. Not me, obviously, but as the OG of the championship teams, I like to see what kind of question they might have for you at these points in time.
Well, Michelle, mine comes more from like the pitching or the coaching aspect. I'm wondering, do you feel that like your experience as a player, part of our state championship teams, was what shaped like your approach to your coaching style now? Do you think it was coaches over the years, a mixture of both, or many other things even?
Great question.
Yeah. For me, I do take a lot of what D-Lou taught me in high school. I look at him as a mentor. I mean, we all still do nowadays. Yeah. I know I mentioned this before, but you weren't on. I always look at him like a dad for me. Like, I'm always wondering, am I making him proud? Am I living on the Taunton Tigers legacy the way he wanted me to? So for me, it's always reevaluating how I'm coaching and what I'm doing. Am I preparing the girls? Kate Millette's dad was a big factor in me as a kid. He was always fun and made the game fun, and like didn't focus on like the bad things you did and the errors you made or whatever else. He was just positive all the time, and I just knew growing up that like I always had the full support of my coaches. They never felt disappointed in me, and even if I did make a mistake, they never showed it. So I always wanted to be that type of coach for the kids, and I think I do a pretty good job. I don't really know. I ask them sometimes, but I think like to be that coach for them.
That. I think I can help answer that question, but we'll let that one slide.
I think so
that
too.
Was a softball.
Yeah.
That's a baseball question, actually. Got anything else for us there, girl?
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I think, from the sounds of it, growing up in Taunton, we had such a good feeder system, and a lot of our dads or our friends' dads were coaches. So, we had a lot of fun with that, but we learned a lot too. We learned a lot what to do as a player, but also how to be as people too. And we were a big family, right? I think anyway. So, we still
Once
see
a
each other
tiger, always
nowadays.
a tiger is what I say.
Oh, yeah, yep.
She's wearing a
It's
Taunton
a
High gear
family.
right now. I love it.
I told it. I laughed.
Courtesy
because
of Michelle
you all-
herself.
Hey, I got my lid on now too. But listen, I coach at BR, but they all know I went to Taunton High.
Yeah.
If it's not a basketball game, I'm rooting for my alumni, and I would expect them to do the same. And I hope they all coach someday. The kids that I've coached in my life. That's a big compliment when you end up coaching or you see one of your players coaching somewhere, no matter what level. And you can't always coach for your alum. That's a great situation you're in.
Yeah.
But if you want to be a softball coach, you probably have to coach somewhere else next year. If you're a Taunton High alumni. So I really appreciate you coming on. Hey, drop to the next slide. I just want to make sure that, I don't know if you can see this. Can you see this? Can you see it at all? No.
Yeah, I can see a little bit. I can see the corner picture up there with me and the other girls.
Share your screen. Share the, pull her back and then share the screen. We're not going to see her, and that's fine. She doesn't need to be popped out, and then you can share that screen. You able to do that, D, over there?
Yeah, it just takes
Takes a second.
While we're working on that, kind of on the other end of the things, Michelle, do you think over the years, and I know you were an assistant before that, that's kind of when we met, do you think that you learned, or did the players teach you anything that altered your approach or had some sort of impact on how you were initially going to approach things to what you're really doing now?
I think honestly, like as the freshman and JV coach, my job is to make it fun. We're obviously gonna work on skills, get them ready for the varsity. But for me, it was just let's go out there and have some fun. And now I'm on the more technical side, and I rely on Riss a lot for the fun stuff sometimes. But she'll remind me that I have to pull it back a little and just let the girls have some fun. And I think this year we've done a really good job with that, and just looking back and not being so nitpicky and strict, and just you know what, the girls are laughing, they're having fun.
Yeah,
things will work out.
Yeah. Very cool. Do you
Good.
get
I love
a
that.
chance to see this little slide right here? I didn't get to.
I see it. Oh boy.
You look very. I love that picture down there where you're ready to toss the ball. That's a good one right there.
That's how I think that was a Herald picture. The Herald was good to us back then, and good to me really back then. I got a lot of big front pagers.
Well, those two pictures to me were pretty cool because the first one is that's how I want my players to look. I want them to be focused and ready to go. And then the second one is obviously you're on the bench. What are you doing though? You're cheering on the others on your team. I think those two things in a player are the biggest things I could ask for. So,
well, absolutely. And like I was trying, saying earlier, like I don't consider myself having done anything special particularly, right? Like I wasn't overpowering. I wasn't a Kelsey Webb. I wasn't a Sam Lincoln. I'm 5'3". My hands are like the smallest little hands ever. We didn't have the 1 foot off the mound momentum situation.
Which would have helped us short people.
Yeah.
It would have helped us short people a little bit, I would like to think. So, I had a lot of junk. They hit the ball. I didn't strike out a lot of people. I mean, I had 3 perfect games, and I wouldn't have had it, if it wasn't for the defense. One of them came down to a shoestring catch by a girl who just came off the bench. I mean, she could have let it drop in front of her, but everybody was there to play, do their part, give their all.
Hey, Kelsey White was here a couple minutes ago saying the same thing. I felt relaxed on the mound because I trusted my team behind me, and you really got to have that. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming on here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, I've got a couple more things I got to pick this brain over here about before I'm going to let her out of this studio. But really appreciate you coming on and seeing that top right picture here of you coming back and giving back is awesome. So don't be stuck in Ohio the whole time you're out there,
just
right?
here.
I know.
I was just here 2 weeks ago. I missed the state championship by a week. I was so bummed.
But honestly, go Buckeyes. I do like the Buckeyes for football.
Yes, I wait.
So D, you can stop sharing that and
we'll see you guys. Thanks again for having me. Michelle, it's good to see you.
Hi, nice to see you.
And thanks for coming on.
All right, we'll see you.
Yeah, when you finally get back, you can drop down to the next slide. There was a couple of things I wanted to, as a coach, I know this is nuts. Okay. Going from the old colony, which she played in, and going to the Hawk, I think the Hawk's the best, of the best for leagues in the state. It's too big in my opinion right now, honestly. You guys don't even need to play anybody else. It's getting to that point. But, this is insane. 2014, 15, DLU, 2022. Look at this. This is nuts. Player of the year, player of the year, player of the year, player of the year. People are going to get sick of you guys. And you better not wear those pinstripes all the time. They're really not going to like you guys when it comes down to this.
I mean, we had white pinstripes this year.
This to me, and Hannah, by the way, the 2021 year got canceled, slapped. She was co-MVP of the Hawk that year. I don't know if they just nominated people or was that the shortened year. Something happened that year where I think she was also co-MVP of that year as well too. Pretty cool though, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable to see the talent that's come through Taunton. The traditions that have stayed, I mean, she talked about it. She said it was a tradition. They call it their superstitions. All these girls have it. My assistant coach has it. Both of them do. And I don't believe in them only because if you start to believe in one, you start to believe in all of them. So I usually rely on them and ask them, hey, what is superstition? So,
give me one of their superstitions.
So she's talking about what she ate. We all had to eat the same thing before each game in the playoff.
Superstition, that's routine though.
Yeah. No,
routine.
It's a little superstition. If we don't eat it, we're not going to win.
That's superstition.
It's too, we took a coach. We took a regular school bus. We usually take a coach bus if we go to somewhere further away. But Amherst, we took a coach bus. But if we were at Worcester, we only took a school bus. So we only took a school bus this year. It's like these little things that they did. Every day we set up at the field, they have to do the same routine. The infielders go hit first, and the outfielders go throw first, and vice versa. And then when it's the tournament team, the starting 9 or 10 go hit first, and the other ones throw, and then they flip flop. It's the same thing every day.
But there's comfort in that. Then taking a foul shot in basketball.
It's routine.
In our squad, you have to have a routine, and I have to see it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want it too long. I don't want you spinning the ball around your back or something that you could drop or, so they have to show me their routine, but the routine is a lot to do with success in my opinion. So I wouldn't. Superstition to me is I'm going to only chew gum on Tuesday that's craziness
they get
too.
a little crazy with some of them.
That's fun. But that's fun too though. Because then you get to know.
All right, what do you want me to do today? What can I wear?
What's the quirk that I need to know? Yeah. Drop to the next one, D. We have, I want to talk a minute about, because this is where it all starts, right? Yeah. What is it how do you getting these girls to buy into these feeder systems? Because I would say for us at BR and for most basketball, it's really hard if I had my best 5 players at BR, we'd win the state championship. There's a lot of teams that can say that. Taunton, fortunately, Coyle's no longer. BP is so hard to get into. Bristol Aggie's non-existent to take an athlete. You're not losing as many players anymore, right? But to get them to buy into the feeder programs to play together is so tough with AAU, it's called AAU, right?
Yeah.
AAU, and there's different teams, and this team, and my dad, and my friend, and somebody said this about I got to get on that team, and this coach. How do you guys handle that?
I mean, we still have those things that occur, but I think a lot of it is family and community. And, the Taunton Girls Softball League has always been that family community start. I played there as a kid. I played there until my sophomore year in high school. I just couldn't play once you were on the varsity team, so I had to stop playing.
Is that what that
Back
rule
then,
is?
it was a rule.
Is that a rule now or anything?
No, it's just you can't choose them over the high school. So if you have a game for your AU team and the high school team, you have to choose the high school team.
Is there anybody in these that's been doing it a long time that it's maybe a coach or something? I know Adi Pimentel is 50 years of Little League Baseball or something crazy. Anything like that might need or is it always constantly? It's so difficult.
It
right?
is. So a lot of these are parents, but they're involved parents. They're knowledgeable of the game, and they just want the athletes to learn. Amy Donnelly, I grew up playing. I didn't play with her; she was a little older than me.
So cute those.
But her daughters played, and the community of softball. I played, so my kids are gonna play. And just keeping that tradition going.
Yeah. Is there how do you handle parents, by the way? I know it's tough.
It is really hard.
I don't want any examples or anything like that, but there's good, the bad, and the ugly, right? Yeah. And then I should say there's great, good, bad, and ugly, right? So how do you handle, just
expectations? Or what do you do as a coach?
So
with that?
fortunately,
and as a school, if you don't mind me asking.
we kind of have our own thing, but as the softball head coach, I decided that we don't communicate with parents. If they have an issue with playing time or whatever else, they need to speak with their athlete, and their athlete can talk to us, and we'll set up a meeting, and we have no problem discussing, where we see the child in our program, what we think that they need to work on and improve on, and
Cool.
Those type of things. But for a parent to talk to us as coaches, it has to be like something with like a mental health, they're concerned for their child's mental health, and we'll have a separate meeting with the athletic director for that.
The athletic director as well,
yeah,
too. Yeah,
yeah.
that's how we handle it as well, too.
But
It's just a question.
normally,
We handle,
yeah.
honestly, our procedure is almost the same way. If you want to talk about playing time, we're probably not going to talk.
Yeah.
If you're insisting we talk about it, there's going to be an AD involved.
No,
to do it that
it's
way.
a no parent policy.
Cool. Drop the next one. And this is just funny because you might not know it. Here's how many teams are in your little feeder program right now. This is insane. Like be very grateful, and to all these people who are in this softball feeder program, if you end up watching this, good for you guys.
Yep.
I mean, you're really making the Taunton High softball team what it is. I only wish that we could have something like this where there's so many teams that are combining their efforts to be into one program. So good for you guys. Next slide, D. This is the kind of the proud moments, if you know what I mean. And there's so many more. Coach Fox was here earlier, and he was telling me names of girls who are here, there, and everywhere because he kind of knows all of that kind of stuff. But if you can just look up here and see who's playing where and who's doing what, congratulations to your team. It's an amazing journey that you guys have been on. I want to know if there's anything that you want to talk about. Is there anything that we haven't covered? Like, I am not a softball expert. I've become pretty good the last couple of days trying to, talk about 10 teams. It's just awesome. I hope they all know that, I know you feel the same way. The appreciation for team 1 to team 10 is the same for each one in between, right?
And I think that's what I love about these girls is they're humble. They don't take it. You saw Adrienne talking about it. She's like, we, and she's like, well, I have a really hard time talking about I. We play a team sport, and these girls play for the name on the front, not the name on the back, per se. And that's what I say about them. And they give it their all. They work really hard all season long and in the off season to get where they are. So for these girls to go on and play in college is unbelievable. I don't care if you're playing D1, D2, D3. The percentage of kids that go on and play at the next level is very small. I think it's like 1-2%. What is it?
Correct. Yeah. Well, not in your program, but yes, typically.
Yeah, no, I agree. So my first year, I had 6 seniors graduate, and all 6 seniors went on to play college. Like, unbelievable.
That's crazy.
My second year, I had 2 out of 3. And then this year, we had 3 of them are going on to play college ball. And next year, so far, we have a few of them that are going to go, and it's unbelievable that these kids are given this opportunity, and they're taking it, they want to continue playing at the next level.
Going into next year for next year's team, I don't care if they're the first hitter or the fifth hitter. Who are some of the names that are coming back that you're...
All the same. It's my lineup is the same,
Give them a little shout out.
If we start from the top of the order, we have Tori Carrero, Shalilioff, Mia Torres, my second hole hitter, Bella Bork, Anaya Bailey. Anaya led the team, the Hawk in batting average. Bella Bork was a smidge behind her. Both of them are, very strong, offensively and defensively athletes.
Yeah.
We got Gracie Oliveira, Maddie Crowley has done an impeccable job for us over at, second base, taking on that role over there. She was young when she first started with us, but she's taken that on very well. We have Ashlyn Hebert that was in our lineup batting. She's going to be a huge asset for us again next year. We had Kaylee Lopes. We had Jay Gagnon. I could name every single one of them because they were all amazing athletes that are just going to contribute for us, year after year.
Give your coaches one more shout out. I want to hear their full names again because I'm an assistant coach. Assistant coach need love.
I say it all the time that, the head coaches get the shine, but really, the assistant coaches are the ones that do a lot of the hard work behind the scenes. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the assistant coaches. I don't think I would have survived my first couple of years of coaching without them. Not only are they just helpful, coaching, they're a mentor with you, they're making sure that, you're doing the right things. And, sometimes when you feel like you're not doing the right thing or you're not doing enough, they reassure you that, hey, we're doing all we can. We just got to have faith things will work out, and they do a really good job of that.
That's awesome.
So, Coach Marissa Altman, I tell you, she's my secondhand woman. I she gives up a lot of time to be with us, and she has for a number of years. Meg Kirby and Coach Fox, Michael Fox, sorry.
It's all right. Everybody knows the voice of Taunton sports. So cool. Well, that's basically what we do here. We try to, see that. Well, actually, I want to say to those girls that you had mentioned, believe her when she says still have fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's your year. It doesn't matter that you won last year. It doesn't even matter if you were an important part of that team last year. It's your year this year. So make that commitment in the off season, make that commitment going into the season, find your own thing.
Yeah.
And because you know what, you guys should be back again. You guys should keep doing what you're doing. Seems like you got a good head on your shoulder in terms of handling it all. If you can do 3 in a row and start working on your 4th. The last thing I wanted to ask you is just about your family.
Yeah.
Tell me about them. Just tell me who you got at home. Who's supporting you during all the crazy times when you're not home?
My fiance, Jason Torres, he claims he's a single father from March, third Monday in March until hopefully Father's Day when I finally take over, is what he says. Coach Marissa Allman, her husband says the same thing. Her husband and my husband.
What's his name?
Benjamin Altman. Benny Boy is what we call him. Him and my fiance are best friends. So they spend a lot of time together. They take care of all the littles together.
I wish I could hear those stories.
All they do is complain about how they're single fathers. I have my daughter, Mia Torres, who's on the team. She's been a good asset for us, but she's 16.
As a daughter, she's a good asset?
She's just a great kid. Good.
Does well in school?
You hope. Yep.
Good.
Yep. She keeps her grades up. She's a good kid.
Good.
Stays out of trouble.
That's the most important thing.
She's a 3-sport varsity athlete. She's a captain for 2. We haven't announced softball captain, so I can't say anything about that.
Yeah.
But, she talked about giving up one of those, and I'm like, they say a multi-sport athlete is better than a 1-sport athlete or a 2-sport athlete, and I'm a firm believer that, it is true. At some point, you might have to give up one if it's hindering your number 1 sport, but
I'm going to come back to that for a second because I know there's someone else in the family too, right? Who else you got?
I have my 2 little ones.
Yes.
So I have McKinley, who's 5, and then my son Jackson.
Jackson, that's 3. The one I didn't know. Jackson is 3. How's he? Is he a little terror around the house?
He can be tough. He's we call him the finisher. He'll come in and finish the job, whatever that may be. But he's progressed a lot. He went to Tiger Tots this year, and he's just
nice.
A really
cool.
Sweet boy. You call him a sweet boy.
You know what? The love and praise to them because coaches give up a lot of time, as you know. Coming back, last little thing. Coaching your own kid, it's tough.
It is hard, and I feel bad for her because I'm probably the hardest on her than I am anyone else. My expectation is high. There's a microscope on her at all times, and I tell her that. I was like, I don't care what face you look like you have. I'm telling you the face that you have on right now, and it needs to go away. And, just reminding her of those little things. Like, she doesn't have a moment to mess up, whereas some other kids, they could have a bad moment and nobody would notice, but they notice her. It's
tough. And, like my kids, I wouldn't coach. I could have coached my basketball son, and I decided, Doug asked me to be on the staff, or I'm like, I'm not doing that until he's gone. So I didn't start coaching until he was done. And he was 2016. So this is now my 9th year. You know what I mean? Like, so I know when, he was 17, this is my 8th year, one or the other. It's tough. That's tough, right?
I thought it would be harder. I think it's hard for that aspect that I'm like, I nitpick her a lot with those things, like showing your face and like give me like a positive face and not being down on yourself.
I would only recommend this to you because I feel like I could be a good vibe for that. I've been through it a lot. Who is the family friend coach again?
Marissa Allman.
Let her do
She does. So she does all the coaching. Pretty
for
much
her.
For Mia, she does.
But you can funnel that through her instead of through you. You know what I mean?
For the most part now we do. Other than when we get home and I'm yelling at her about her face.
But, because Doug had Dougie. Darius's brother play for us, and I was usually the bad guy when it came to him. So not that it was always coming from me, but it might be coming through him to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyways, I really appreciate you having you today.
I
hope you had
here.
fun.
I did.
I hope it was a good little stroll. Some crazy great athletes that you guys have produced, and you should be super proud.
I am proud, and I think the only thing I'm going to add is that people expect us to win, and they expect that this is easy, and they're like, "Oh, Taunton High won it again." Like, it is not easy. You can have all the talent in the world. It's just everything has to, come through the way that should come through, and It might not, you know. I mean, you
When
think
they
about that
wanna
2019 year, you know, she's like, you know,
Yes.
we lost to Fian, and like
You
they-
never forget losses.
no,
They just haven't had a
yeah.
lot of them.
yeah.
And that's great. That's you know.
Oh, they don't forget the loss against KP. I mean, we don't keep count how many we haven't, but that loss against KP my first year, that one stings.
Did it sting a lot?
Yeah, we lost in the bottom of the 10th.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, 1-0.
I don't feel bad. I do feel bad for that game for those players.
I do and I don't. If we didn't lose that game, I'm not sure we would have won our first year. We always say that loss is what fueled us into that championship game that, you know, brought us that extra mile. Yeah.
I have chills.
So when we beat KP in the semifinals that year, it was revenge.
We've lost to Franklin 2 years in a row in the playoffs. Yeah. I hope we see him again next year. You know, like I want to go through that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like go through the fire to, you know what I mean? It's the best way. So I appreciate you being here. It was a lot of fun for me getting to know, you know, this research, getting to know you, getting to know all the people that support that team is just awesome to see. And I'm forever a fan now. You'll see me at a game here and there. Hopefully I can get Coach Delu in here someday. You can help me with that. I'd love to have him sit here and you know what, really help go through the early years too. You know what I mean? So, cause there's a lot of history to your program and I think it's worth, and if you win again, you promise you come back in?
Yeah, if we win again.
If you lose again, you promise you come back in?
Yeah. Win or loss.
No,
Doesn't
seriously.
matter, right?
We promise?
Yeah.
Around the same time, we'll do this again
We
because
just focus one game at a time. And
no,
hold that
honestly,
at the
either
end.
way, it'd be great to talk to you, right? How did that, from this, what we just went through to where we're either right back where we are or, you know, some stuff in more, just as much fun to talk about. So
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dave.